Science for life. Do you want to know more about the world around you? Then subscribe, like, and let's get started.
It is possible that you do not think of ravens as the most intelligent creatures in the world, but some of them have bigger brains than yours. Of course, in proportion to the rest of the body. The brain of the New Caledonian crow is almost 3% of the total body weight. This ratio can also be found in dolphins and anthropoid apes. The brain of an adult human weighs only about 2% of the body weight, and mine is even smaller. Studies have also shown that the frontal lobe of a raven and a crow is more densely populated with neurons than in primates. This area of the brain determines the animal's intelligence. Thus, more neurons means better cognitive abilities. Ravens and crows can indeed be the smartest on the planet, not counting us humans. They are even smarter than 7-year-old children. Scientists offered 6 wild ravens to take a series of tests to see how well they understand cause and effect. The tests were based on Aesop's fable in which a raven dropped stones to raise the water level in a jug. In real life, the ravens had to throw heavy objects into a tube filled with water. The ravens were given a choice of objects to drop. They understood that they had to choose solid, not hollow objects and tubes filled with water, not sand. They also chose a tube with a higher water level, knowing that this would allow them to reach their goal faster. All birds successfully solved the puzzle, unlike children aged 4-6 years and faster than 7-year-old children. Another experiment proved that crows are capable of drawing analogies. Smart birds were given a tray on which 3 cups stood. On the middle cup was a card with an image of a color, shape, or number. There were also images on the side cups, one the same as on the middle cup, and the other different from it. The food was in the cup with the matching picture. The crows quickly understood how it all worked and began to choose the appropriate cards to get a treat. During the next round of the experiment, they received cards with pairs of objects. On 2 cards there were pairs of identical objects, for example, 2 circles and 2 triangles. On the remaining 2 cards there were different images, a heart-shaped circle, a square and a triangle. Thus, they had to find a pair for a card with 2 identical objects and 2 different objects. The birds instantly understood the task and each time chose the correct cards. Would you have coped? Ravens live on all continents except Antarctica and South America. Crows, their close relatives, magpies and jays, have learned not only to survive among humans, but also to use this neighborhood. For example, birds living in cities in America and Japan have learned to throw hard nuts onto a busy street and wait for cars to crush the nuts. Then the crows wait for the traffic light to turn green for pedestrians and calmly pick up the treat. In 2011, a team from the University of Washington proved that crows can recognize human faces and remember their enemies. One of the researchers put on a Neanderthal mask, and the other put on a Dick Cheney mask. The Neanderthal visited 5 places to catch and tie up several wild crows. When they were released, the birds made loud cries. They did this to warn their friends about a daring intruder. Then the friends flew in to scold the Neanderthal with loud curses. The participants in the experiment did nothing. Scientists visited the same places for 5 years, and the birds always greeted the Neanderthal with angry curses and ignored Dick Cheney. Some of the birds that participated in the original experiment have already died, but it seems that they have passed on their knowledge to their offspring. Ravens are also able to somehow determine whether a person poses a direct threat to them or is simply going about their business. A raven will fly away much faster if it sees a person moving towards it and looking at it. Most birds and other animals prefer to run away when a person approaches, even if they are simply walking by. A raven, on the other hand, can feel when it is safe to relax and when it is necessary to run away from danger. Family means a lot to ravens. They usually find one partner for life, live in pairs or small family groups. In the cold winter, they unite in hundreds and even thousands of their relatives to spend the nights in a large company. During the nesting period, young ravens help their parents protect the nest from strangers. They can also bring food to their parents or younger siblings. Some birds continue to help their parents for several years. Ravens also make friends for life and form huge gangs to protect themselves from predators. They gather to chase away any unwanted guests and hunt even larger birds, such as owls or hawks, or large animals. Sometimes they gather together to steal food from larger creatures. Some members of the group distract the predator, while others carry away the prey at this time. For you, all this may sound like a caw-caw, but ravens have a whole range of sounds, and each of them means something to other representatives of the species. They can warn potential intruders that a foreign territory begins, or inform their relatives about their location. This language is not universal, it differs from valley to valley, similar to regional dialects. If a crow for some reason decides to join a new flock, it will have to learn to caw in a foreign language, imitating the sounds of new comrades. Ravens have more self-control than many people. If someone offered you a treat that you can get right now, or a tastier one that you have to wait to choose, the smart guys in feathers have proved that they know that waiting pays off. First, the researchers checked the food preferences of crows: bread, grapes, sausage, fried pork fat and other delicacies. Each bird had its favorite foods. Then they were offered their least favorite food. After waiting for a few seconds to 10 minutes, the researchers offered the birds a tastier treat or a larger portion of the same snack. The ravens had the opportunity to grab everything that is available and fly away, but this would mean the absence of hope to get a tastier treat. The ravens involved in the study agreed to wait for treats that they would like more, but they did not want to wait to get a second portion of the same snack. Only after receiving the desired food, the ravens left the test site. Other birds, such as pigeons, chickens and parrots, did not show any special self-control during a similar experiment. Our heroes never waste food. When they have too much of it, they hide it for later in some secret places in the leaves and other objects. When they feel hungry, they know exactly where to go to find their supplies. Sometimes they place markers on the stash to remember where it is, or move food from place to place to protect it from other hungry mouths and beaks. They also know which food spoils first, and eat meat earlier than other types of food, for example nuts. Ravens also make and use their own tools. They have learned to cut thin strips of wood, bend wire into hooks to pick up food that is out of reach. They remember the design and recreate the tools. Ravens are also able to combine materials that would not be suitable for creating a complex tool on their own. It was previously thought that only humans and anthropoid apes can do this. It seems that ravens enjoy the process of making and using tools. Their behavior changes after successful use of the tool, just as we humans feel happy after completing a complex task. Thanks for watching. Subscribe so you don't miss our next videos.